Hey VC, great to be back. Thanks for dropping by. It's been a while, but I always say that. But I feel like making a video, so here I go. I was fortunate enough to see the band Ride for the first time. I think it's their second visit down under. Now this is back in early September, so we're almost in November now. So yeah, it was a while ago. But when I found out about the upcoming gig, I was tossing about whether I should go because I couldn't get any of my friends to come along. So in the end, I went by myself, and I'm glad I did. It was a great gig, a good experience. I've never seen them before. I managed to get there pretty early. It was at the Marvelous Forum venue, which is on Flinders Street in Melbourne. I'll show you a couple of pictures. It's a beautiful theatre. The building itself was built back in 1929. There's about a 2,000 crowd capacity. What else can I tell you? Beautiful inside, ideal for gigs. I managed to get a front row seat, and that's the first time I've ever done that. And I just want to sort of go through some photos just to give you an idea. Let's have a look. Okay, there's a photo of the actual front entrance, the Forum in Melbourne, and then we've got a bit of a wider shot there of Flinders Street. Across the street we've got another building which escapes me at the moment, which is quite a popular building. There's another shot of the crowd. So there wasn't too many of us at the start, and I got to thinking maybe there wasn't going to be a huge turn up. This is a shot of the theatre inside. Nicely lit up. As you get closer, you can see the band's equipment, and this is before the support band go on. But this is the close-up look of Andy's what do you call it, soundboard, and then I'm just doing a bit of a wide sort of shot there, and yeah, and that's all the photos I got. I also took a bit of footage of the band performing, just to give you a warning early. I was standing right next to the speaker, right up front stage, so I don't think the sound was just not great. So there you go, you've been warned. But check this out. was some great footage there of Ride. What else can I tell you? You know, the band alternated between old and new material. The material held up well, considering it's 30 years old. I love the interplay between Mark's sort of jangly guitar and Andy's sort of, you know, reverb-drenched noise. It was great. It was great to actually see that all in front of you unfolding. Yeah, I just remember going in and thinking there ain't going to be too many people sort of turning up, and by the time the support band had finished and Ride were about to come on, I remember sort of looking back behind me, and the theatre was absolutely packed. So they definitely got a really good reception. Also that month we had Swerve Driver come down as well, so it's been a great few months for shoegaze band. As you probably know, we had the Jesus and Mary Chain come through as well a few months earlier. I didn't manage to go and see the Swerve Driver gig, unfortunately, but hopefully another time. Okay. Excuse me. Consequently, I went down to my local record store and put an order in for the latest record, obviously, which turned up about a month later. And here it is. This is not a safe place. This is their sort of, second sort of comeback record, I guess. The first one being Weather Diaries. I just really, I've listened to it now a few times, and I just have sort of mixed feelings about it, really. I don't think I enjoyed it as much as the Slow Dive record that came out. Look, there's some great tracks on here. Future Love, Jump Jet. But then there's tracks on here that that I'm not too fond of. I think when the band sort of stick to their sort of shoegaze soundscapes, which was largely missing in Weather Diaries, they just sound great. I'm not being sort of fanatical here about shoegaze in particular, but the record sounds like, well, obviously the band is doing some experimentation on here, and there's some social commentary. But just to give you an example, there's a song on the record called Dial Up. I'll just sort of read them out to you. It's like my brain's on dial up, it's trying but it can't get through. Well, just really doltish sort of lyrics, and I just sort of stuck with me and it's put me off. But yeah, overall a fairly sort of decent record, but yeah, definitely not. Yeah, I don't. It's not of the caliber of the Slow Dive record. Yeah, so that obviously got me revisiting some of their older material. So I went back to their debut album, Nowhere, This is an original UK pressing, still in its shrink. So really lucky to have this. Yeah, often cited as being part of the classic shoegaze trilogy. But the the sound of the record is much broader than any tag could consummate, veering from alternative to psychedelia to grunge. Yeah, it's a marvelous record, marvelous. I'll show you some of the other EPs that I've managed to pick up over the years. Obviously have this one, which has the tracks Dreams Burn Down, Taste, Nowhere, and Here and Now. Really worth picking up these EPs because they've obviously got tracks on them that the album doesn't have. Yeah, love Dreams Burn Down. It's a great track, wonderful track. People usually go on about Vapor Trail, but yeah, this is a wonderful track. Obviously, if you have CD copies of the album, you probably pick up all these extra tracks because they do add them on. And I've got this EP as well. This features Further Sense, Perfect Time, Like a Daydream, and Silver. Great original EPs. Then I've got this EP, which comes off their second album. Features the tracks Leave Them All Behind, Chrome Waves, and Grasshopper, which does not appear on their second album. Yeah, and yeah, those albums after Nowhere are pretty difficult to pick up these days. Going Blank Again goes for about $60, and you probably ain't going to get a great copy of it. And subsequent releases after that, just really expensive and almost impossible to find. I'll show you a couple more. Next one I've got is the band Swallow. This one came out in 1982. We've got Mike Mason on guitar and Louise Trehi on vocals. I'll just here's the inner sleeve. Yeah, they're just another one of those wonderful 4AD bands. Often pegged as a lightweight Cocktail Twins. I can see why people make that, why they're tempted to make that comparison. They have a fairly similar sound. I mean, you got both guitarists sort of creating those sonic soundscapes, and both Louise and Liz are quite comfortable on the upper register. But Robin Guthrie's sort of more reliant on sort of a more heavier processed guitar effects, and Mike's sort of I think Mike sounds a little bit more organic, but it's a great listen. Fantastic pickup, this one. Not easy to find. What do we got next? Pains of Being Pure at Heart. This one came out in 2008. And one of the 2008 sort of variations. This one's on white vinyl. Yeah, it's a record about being a teenager, really, isn't it? Long wasted summers and lust at first sight and all that. Great tracks though. Contender, Come Saturday, Stay Alive. But yeah, those of us that've got long memories will pick up the sort of the legendary C86 sound that sort of comes through this record. I don't know if it's intentional or not. A bit of early Valentine's in there with the jangly guitars, yeah. Mary Chain maybe. But yeah, the album's much more than the sum of its parts. Yeah, wonderful sort of effervescent indie pop. Yeah, fantastic, I like it. Alright guys, that's all I've got time for. It's getting warm down here in Melbourne. I'm going to head off next month to, well, up north where it's a little bit more warmer. Hit the beaches. Yeah, it's been great catching up with you. I hope to do it soon again. Keep those videos up. I enjoy watching those, still do. Sorry I don't often comment on them, but yeah, fun. All right guys, have a good one. See ya.